E don set again, my people. Real men need to do what is right. Yes, all those my guys, I will collect them. Guys, this video when Dr. D, Cora ex-husband do, una go watch am by una sef. Make una lis ten wetin Dr. D talk for this video, guys. Before we go there, before we drop the video, please, if you never follow this page and drop your opinion. Love and like, guys, and share the video so that any update you go dey see am woto. I know say if you watch this video, you yourself will fear because Dr. D, my people, e no be like white oh. You go see by yourself the way Dr. D take know e right. You know e right, you know what he say he would do. You will see how he say, how he really man take dey do things. Say no matter what, he must make sure all those girls he collect them back as a responsible father. Guys, I no want to talk too much. I will do this video so that when we watch am together. This one load though, e don set again, guys. Regade and let's watch together, guys. Stay tuned and watch.
Get back to the narcissist educational series. I've just been busy. Been paying attention to my kids and playing with them and taking care of their needs. And then, you know, sometimes when I first get them, I forget about social media for a few days. So it's now, what is it, Wednesday? So yeah, I just don't keep track of the days. So we're going to talk about, there's a lot of, I see a lot of women sometimes say, be a real man. And we should talk about that because, in at least me, as myself growing up, there's no significant point in life where you can say, I am now a man, when you're a man. There are moments in women's life, such as gaining a period. You're now a woman able to bear children. There are significant life things that occur in women's lives a little bit more than men. So what makes a man a man? When are you when does a boy become a man? And a lot of people will say, well, going to war. I have a lot of friends that are war vets and they're not men yet. They're still immature. What else can you say? Going to college, does that make you a man? That doesn't, in my opinion, make you a man. The girls are growing fast. My opinion, what makes a man, at least in a society, because if we look at ancient traditions, there's always ceremonies that turns boys into men, and that's a significant life phase that everyone goes through. So it changes society's expectations on you to become more mature, more providing, and become what's called a man versus a boy. But we don't really have that here. So what makes a man in cultures devoid of traditional ceremonies making a boy a man? And I'm curious what you guys all think. Emuela, I'm jobless, crying in more than a year and still crying. I'm not crying. There's no tears coming out of my mouth. It's been a year of me crying. I haven't been crying. So this must be a cultural difference. And Muela, I'm going to take your comment and use it for education because it obviously shows your expectations of men that are fairly toxic and unhealthy. So I'm not trying to insult you, just kind of calling a spade here. Hello from Canada. Thank you, Princess. All right, so I'm going to take a minute here or two just to kind of think. I'm asking questions. Comment in the section below. What makes a man a man? I have my definition, and there is no societal norms related to this, but I have a definition that significantly for me was I am now a man. I now have to think of myself as a man. What do you guys think? Thank you for the rose flash. The negative comments about narcissists, because people are saying it when they want. It doesn't affect me when somebody calls me a narcissist, because I know that I'm not, because I experience what's called empathy. I feel bad for others, so that automatically basically makes me not a narcissist. But the reason why I'm talking about it is because it seems that there is a general misunderstanding of what it is, and if you don't understand what it is, then you potentially could be taken advantage of by a narcissist. And again, my platform is positivity, education, and growth of everyone on here. So if I educate somebody on a topic that they don't have any idea what the word means, then I'm helping them even though they're trying to be negative. So it's not that I'm focusing on negativity, it's actually focusing on positivity, because it's working towards growth, in this case of awareness. And I just have about 10 more minutes. I'm out in Calabasas, and then I'm going to Woodland Hills, and then I'm going back to Santa Monica, and then home to hang out with my girls. I just had to block someone. Requires a lot of my attention, and she follows me around all over the house and wants to do whatever I'm doing. This morning she was trying to convince me that she's big so she could go to work with me today. I would say living out of your parents' house, holding down a steady job, and taking care of bills and households, even when some can be immature, I would say that's part of being a man. I wouldn't say that that's fully a man yet, in my opinion. This is strictly my opinion. My daddy told me a real man shaves his face and shows they're not lazy. Well, then I guess I'm not a man. That's funny. So we'll talk about this. In a culture such as the United States, and this is kind of an interesting thing if I ever have a son, but in a culture devoid of traditional ceremonies where we don't have a distinct moment in time, whether it's an age, whether it's a ceremony, whether it's religious, fill in the blank, that doesn't make you a boy to a man. In my opinion, what makes a man is when you are responsible for other humans, and you have to conduct your life and make decisions for the welfare of other humans, such as children, could be your parents, could be anyone. If another human being is solely reliant on you for safety, for food, for shelter, for emotional well-being, I think that makes you a man. If you make decisions on a daily basis in service of others, that makes you a man. Doesn't mean you can't be a man if you don't have children. Doesn't mean you can't be a man if you're not taking care of people. But that's the only thing that I can think of in our Western society that signifies that you are a man, like without dispute. If you are taking care of other humans, you don't complain about it, you see it as your duty, and you just do what's necessary for the safety and security of someone you love and care about. That, in my opinion, is what makes a man. Let's talk about some of the toxic things that society says, and I see this especially from our African sisters here, is that I talk too much, I'm not a man. So let's talk about that. If you tell a man that he's not a man for talking, for expressing his emotions, for telling you how he feels, you're basically devaluing or saying that he should just suck it up and deal with it. Well, that's why men's suicide rates are so much higher than women's, is because of women, because men have so much pressure on them put on society, and they have all this pressure, but yet when they have a hiccup or they're worn down and they just want someone to come